bitches.
And welcome back. Welcome back to Sinister Sisters. I'm Kat, and I'm joined by... and welcome to Soapbox Sunday, a weekly episode where I just talk about whatever I want. And today, on Soapbox Sunday, you're getting to see our faces.
You're welcome.
So welcome to the video version. If you're on audio, listen to this, and then go and watch the video. It'll be very exciting. Okay. You look like you have something to say.
I don't. I'm about to yawn.
Okay. So, back by popular demand, today we are going to read some more Reddit stories. So I have 3, maybe 4. We'll see how quickly we get through the first. Are you ready?
I do be prepared.
To be confused.
Confused.
Yeah, by how people can be so not cool.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Okay. Am I the asshole for thinking about what's best for my friend?
No.
Okay. So, fake names. Here's some backstory. My 37 female and my best friend Dan, 40 male, are childhood best friends since our parents are best friends also. We were expected to be together when we grew up, but that never happened. Fast forward to January last year, Dan met this girl Amy, 30 female, and he was instantly smitten with her. Since the moment I met her, she rubbed me the wrong way. Like there's something just off with her.
Jealousy.
For example, he's a really good-looking guy, almost like a Ken, and she's kind of stumpy, but so girly and immature. He's a successful lawyer and comes from a very well-off family, but she works at Dunkin' Donuts and doesn't want to work elsewhere because she, quote, loves her job and it's great for her mental health. She's from South America. Nothing against immigrants, but she might want him for the wrong reasons. And has a kid. The worst part is that she has everyone bewitched. His parents, his friends, every single soul in our circle. The problem. In May, he proposed to her, and of course she said yes. My suspicions began to be corroborated when Dan bought a house and added her to the deed. He got her a car for her birthday, and he's paying for the wedding. Last week we were all at a wedding party brunch since she asked me to be a bridesmaid. Anyway, in the middle of the meal, she got a call and she started to lament because it was the 4th chapel that didn't have her dream date available for next year. It's a June wedding, mind you. Dan started to reassure her that he will find something lovely for the date she wanted, and he left to make some calls. I took the chance to tell her that she should just go with whatever date was available, and if it was me marrying the man of my dreams, a date wouldn't have stopped me. She said it was important to her because it was her late mother's birthday, and since she couldn't be there with her, she wanted to honor her in some way. A good reason, I must admit, but still. I repeated that if it were me marrying Dan, I would marry him as soon as possible. His brother was there, and he told me to drop it and change the subject. Around 20 minutes later, Dan came back announcing that he found a lovely place near the river, and she just thanked him like a spoilt brat whose demand was given. I just couldn't stand how much he coddled her and the lengths she made him go to for her. That night, I told him how I see that she is using him, making him act like a puppy. He used to work 80 hours a week, and now if he comes to work before 9 a.m., it's a miracle, and he always leaves at 5. How he's harming his career, his money, and his relationships, and how I couldn't believe he has such low self-esteem to settle with her that he could find someone so much more suitable for him. He just looked at me, dead serious, and told me if I ever repeat something like that, he will cut me off as fast as those words leave my mouth. Now I'm thinking, am I the asshole for looking out for him? I'm only worried that she would play him and take everything from him and destroy him. And then there's an edit. It says, "I'm fine, thank you. I will apologize to him, her, and back off from his relationship and let life happen. Whatever the outcome is, I will stay quiet." Okay.
I take back my former statement. Yes, you are the asshole. Sounds like she's secretly in love with him and she wants to be
Yes.
marrying him. And so she's all jealous of, like, if I was going to be marrying Dan, the date wouldn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
and then a good reason, I admit. But still,
But still.
just tell us you're bitter and move on. Jeez.
Literally. The top comment just says, "This is a lot of words to say. I am hateful and jealous of my best friend's fiance."
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that's my final. Yes, you're the asshole.
Yes. That's what Reddit's deemed as well.
Yeah.
Lots of comments being like, "You should probably go and see a therapist."
Mm-hmm.
And in some comments, I think they said that they would look into that. Yeah, just generally,
Jealous.
yeah, everybody, yeah.
That's so weird.
But it's just so weird that, like, all of the, like, problems that this, yes, female that she has with the fiance
Mhm.
are, like, nothing. Oh, she works at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Ew.
Oh, he's just
Ew, service workers.
she likes her job and is good for her mental health. Like, why are you saying it like that? Like,
Right?
ugh,
And in quotes, too. Like, it's like as if she doesn't believe her.
that's so gross.
Oh, she makes him not work 80 hours a week.
And I kind
Well,
of,
yeah,
like,
that's
yeah,
terrible for you.
he just learned boundaries and, like, a work-life
Yeah.
balance, and you're upset. But I think is she a lawyer too? The friend.
It doesn't say, but
I
she did say, now if he comes to work before 8 a.m., or sorry, 9 a.m., it's a miracle. So, like,
Yeah, it's
kind of
kind of
sounds like maybe they
implied.
work in the same building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe she just does, like, a socially fancy job, you know? And so she's like,
maybe.
"Oh,
Yeah,
you're making coffee and you want to marry my husband?" Because in her
Eh,
brain, she's married to him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because she even mentioned at the beginning, like, oh, we were supposed to be together. We were expected to be together.
Like, what does it even mean? Sounds like she's liked him forever, and he hasn't liked her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
but Dan, we're supposed to be together.
Oh
You're a
my God,
Gemini.
Dan.
That's a throwback to our last episode, last soapbox. Will it be last one? No, the one before last. Right?
3 ago.
3 ago.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Because this episode will go up not next week, but the week after. And the astrology episode was not this week, but the week before.
Good thing I understand timelines. Anyways, what's the next one?
Okay. This one is from r/off my chest, and it's lengthy
Okay.
ish. So, buckle in, baby.
Ready. We'll sip.
Sip, sip. Okay. The title is I Ghosted My Family and My Fiance After What My Sister Did. So, I need a little advice on the matter as I don't know what to do anymore. I was 21 when my fiance asked me to marry him. He was absolutely the light of my life. We had known each other since preschool. Our families are very close. Producer Nova. He would come and have dinner with us on a daily basis and vice versa. He doesn't have any siblings, but I have two older sisters. It's very important as he was very close to them as well. We grew up together. When we started dating, I don't think our parents stopped celebrating for weeks. He helped me deal with a lot of my anxiety, and even when I gained a little weight and my mother berated me, saying he was going to leave me, he told her off and said he loved me for who I was, not for what I looked like, even though he claimed I was the most beautiful girl in the world to him.
Aww.
I know.
We love a healthy relationship.
Well,
at the time.
We were only engaged for 6 months before the incident.
Ooh, the incident.
My middle oldest sister, let's call her Nikki, was a very cold person. She never showed any affection. She only ever opened up to my fiance, and she said she saw him as a brother, and he had also helped her through a lot of dark times, such as battling drug addictions and breaking the law.
Okay.
She and I never saw eye to eye, but I loved her dearly because she was my sister, but I didn't like her much as a person.
Fair.
It happens. Out of the blue, she tells me she wants to take me clubbing, as we had never been out together before, and she felt bad that she'd been so distant toward me. I agreed, and that night we went out. Clubbing really wasn't my style, but once I had a few drinks, I loosened up a little and began to have fun. The night was going smoothly until Nikki spotted a guy across the room whom she claimed she wanted to climb like a tree.
Jeez.
Classic. She walked over to him, and within a few minutes, she was back, and she had a sour expression on her face.
Uh-oh.
I asked her what was up, but she never said anything. I kept pressing because I didn't want our night to be ruined, and then she told me that the guy didn't want her number, but he wanted mine instead. I told her he was a loser and that there were plenty guys around who would kill to be with a girl like her. She didn't budge, though. She told me she needed to use the restroom, and then we would leave. I waited for another hour. During this time, I was sipping on a lot of different cocktails. I then started to feel dizzy and lightheaded. I then figured I would cab it home, as I was certain that Nikki had left. On the way out, though, I bumped into a friend of Nikki's, whom she had briefly dated. He asked me if I needed a hand to my car, and I explained that I was getting a cab. He said he was going to...
Me too.
He said he was getting ready to leave, and that we could share one. I told him okay, and we walked out to the club together and into the first cab that we saw. I tried to find my phone in my purse, but I felt myself getting dizzier and dizzier. I don't remember what happened next, as I blacked out, and the next morning I woke up on a hard sofa, my head pounding.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. When I came to, I realized I was at Nikki's friend's house, and my phone was sitting on a glass table in front of me, but it was flat. When he noticed I was awake, he offered some tablets and water and explained that I had passed out in the cab, and he didn't remember my parents' address, so he picked me up and took me back and put her on the sofa. I told him I needed to go home as my fiance would be worried. He called a cab, I left. When I arrived at my parents' house, my mother, father, Nikki, my fiance, and his parents were all standing in the living room.
Uh-oh.
I thought that they were worried about me, but the instant I opened my mouth, my fiance asked, how could I do this to him? I tried to explain that my phone went flat, but he went on screaming about how could I cheat on him. I was baffled. Why would he think that? I tried to explain the night's events, but I kept getting cut off. Nikki then chimed in and said I was lying, and how could I be so heartless to a man who had been there for me through thick and thin. She went on to say I kept flirting with random guys all night, and then when she went to the bathroom, she saw me leave with her friend. I told her what had happened, and she showed me photos on her phone that were pictures of her and the friend as they were leaving. His hand was on my back, ushering me outside. Yes, the photo did look horrible, and I was so drunk I didn't even realize his hand was on my back at all. My fiancé was so angry, he kept shouting, and his mum and mine were both crying. I then asked Nikki to call her friend, and he would confirm that nothing happened, but when she called him, he told a completely different story. He said I begged him to take me back to his, and when he did, we slept together multiple times. I saw red and started crying and yelling at Nikki because I knew she had organized this whole thing to make me look bad. I begged my fiance to believe me, but he just shook his head and left. When everyone had cleared out, my mother slapped me across the face and told me to get out. Right?
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Intense. I left and went to a friend's house where I stayed for a few nights. During those nights, I called my fiance crying and pleading with him to believe me that nothing had happened, but it all fell on deaf ears, and he never returned any of my calls or texts. My mum texted me and told me that she was kicking me out and that she couldn't believe I would do such a thing, and a lot of other hurtful slurs that I don't think I should repeat here. She didn't even give me time to get my things as she threw everything out.
Holy frickle frack.
Yeah. I was now homeless. None of my family would take me in as they chose my fiance and my mother's side. I became homeless and single in less than a day and a half. My whole entire world had been taken away because of Nikki's lies. Now for weeks I tried everything I could do to get my fiance back and my family. The limit for me though was when Christmas time had come and I went to my mother's house to try and reconcile. I was sleeping from couch to couch during this time. When I got to my parents' house, I knocked on the door but nobody answered. My friend then called me and she told me that she had just seen a Facebook post where my family were in another state celebrating Christmas and that they had posted pictures online. Everyone was there. My sisters, parents, grandparents, even my fiance and his family. When I myself saw the photos, I couldn't stop crying as they all looked so happy.
That's so sad.
I know, it's awful. I cried for days and days before deciding to block them all. I even returned my engagement ring. My friend knew someone a couple hours away who was looking for some help in his restaurant, and he even had living arrangements above where he worked so I could get rent at a cheap price and work at the same time. I wanted to start over with my life as it hurt me that no one took my side and they all left me to fend for myself. I was able to move pretty quickly and was doing well. The apartment was tiny and I had to work 10 plus hours almost every day, but I was able to save a lot of money. I'm not living in that apartment anymore. I was able to rent a much nicer condo, but I'm still working at the restaurant as an assistant manager. Now it's been roughly 2 years since I left and have not spoken to any of my family. I have no idea what's going on with them until I get a knock at my door. It was my ex-fiance.
Oh shit.
I was shocked, to say the least. All these feelings came rushing back, and all I wanted to do was jump into his arms. I then remembered the pain I had felt and tried to slam the door in his face, but he stopped it and asked if I could let him explain. He said that Nikki had gotten married and she had confessed that she lied about the situation because she found someone else she loved so much and realized what a horrible thing she had done. I asked him how he had found me, and he said my friend told him. My entire family had been trying to get in touch with me and wanted to see me. I told him I needed time to see if I even wanted to have them in my life. He left and I've been a mess since. I don't know what to do. I know I will never ever forgive Nikki. She could rot for all I care. But it's hard because my other family and my fiance didn't know that she was lying. But I also felt like they abandoned me too quickly without letting me explain my side. I don't know if I should forgive them. Any advice would be helpful. Thank you for taking time to read.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How could you do that to your sister?
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know also, like, on the parents' side, how they could just be like, oh, you cheated on your fiance? Get out of my house.
Yeah.
Like, whose kid is your kid? You know?
And, it's so gross that it took the the sister falling in love to understand how much it would hurt. Like, just use critical thinking skills for 1 minute. That's obviously
Literally.
going to hurt. And that's, like,
Yeah.
calculated. Like, I would be concerned at having that person in my life not as OP, but, like, as OP's parents or the fiance, because, like, that is calculated and that is cold.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
gross.
awful.
Like, she went to a lot of effort to do what? To ruin her sister's life?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gross.
For why? I mean, obviously we don't know like totally the backstory, but it just sounds like they didn't get along.
Uh-huh.
Not that anything had happened previously.
Yeah. And I wonder why the friend, like Nikki's ex, would agree to that, to do that.
Yeah.
Almost like Nikki like said something that maybe like, oh, she stole my boyfriend from me when I was 17, you know, something like that.
Maybe.
Maybe. But maybe he's just
Yeah.
a psychopath too.
Maybe.
Wild. Did it say how old she was? Or OP was?
OP. She was 21 when she got engaged, and then the incident happened 6 months later, so she was 21 or 22, and then I think it's been 2 years.
So she's like 25 at the latest.
About 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's a child.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Someone in the comments was like, oh, I kind of understand the fiance, you know, it could look like she cheated, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then somebody commented in response to that, the fiance doesn't deserve a pass. He's horrible for not considering that she was drunk and could possibly have been raped.
I thought that's where this was going to go.
Yeah.
That she got in this cab with this random dude. Like, semi-random, I guess. And she woke up on his couch. I thought it was going to be like, oh, I got raped and my fiance doesn't want to talk to me anymore because of it, you know?
Yeah.
But this is crazy.
Yeah. Just actually wild. And, like, not terribly, like, oh, I guess it has actually a lot of upvotes. As I say, not terribly popular, but yeah.
That's crazy. That poor lady.
Yeah, I don't even, yeah. I think if I was in her shoes, I would have a really hard time forgiving anybody.
Yes. I think I wouldn't be able to forgive the fiance. I would never speak to Nikki again. And would probably keep my parents at an arm's length for the rest of my life. Yeah.
I could see forgiving some of the maybe like distant relatives because they probably, the immediate family probably would have just been like, oh, she did something terrible and we've cut her out.
Yeah.
So I could see like maybe like aunts or, you know, cousins or second cousins, something like that. But.
Yeah. But like, gross, because they didn't even let her explain, like the parents. Nobody believed her. That must have been really like hard. It's not really the right word, but like almost like you're being gaslit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Very wild. Okay. So I'm going to read one more.
Okay.
So I'll give you two options.
Okay.
I'll read the titles and then you can pick which one you want. Okay. And the other one we'll save for another time or maybe not.
Maybe not. Tell us if you want to hear it.
Yes. So the first one is from r/Am I the Asshole? Its title is Am I the Asshole for Losing My Train of Thought When I Was Interrupted?
Okay.
And the second one is from r/Advice. My mother assaulted my wife while she was holding my 1-year-old son. Should I press charges?
Let's do the second one.
Okay.
Oh, do I want to do the first one because I want to know what it's about? Like the second one sounds pretty straightforward, you know? Let's do the first one. I lied.
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I the asshole for losing my train of thought when I was interrupted? I, 41 male, and my fiance, 48 female, had a small disagreement this afternoon, and I want to know if I'm the asshole. Over the past 3 years, we have been dating, and I can honestly say that she is amazing.
Cute.
She's caring, smart, affectionate, and kind. However, she does have a bad habit of interrupting people when they are talking by cutting them off, saying, I know, and stating what she thinks that they are going to say. We've had more than a few conversations about this habit, and she always says that she understands that it's rude, but continues to interrupt. On to today, we were driving to a local park to take part in a Pokemon Go community day and discussing our upcoming wedding, as well as our recently completed marriage counseling. This is posted really recently. I did not realize people still played Pokemon Go, just as a side note.
They're not married yet, but they're going to marriage counseling?
Yeah. Sometimes people do pre-marriage to make sure it's a good idea.
Okay. Also, I think, don't some religious communities encourage you to go and speak to a pastor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think in the Catholic Church that's pretty common.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So the top
Pokemon Go every day. I play Pokemon Go. Sorry for interrupting. Did you lose your train of thought? Sorry.
No, because I'm reading, I'm not thinking. The topic came up, and I mentioned that if I could remove one phrase from her vocabulary, it would be, I know. We laughed a little bit, and she admitted that as she gets older, she notices herself doing it more and more. After we had our fill of catching Pokemon, we went to get some takeout and headed home. The smell of the food waiting to be eaten turned our conversation to the meal we had the previous night. I started to make a comment about how I would have liked to tweak the recipe for the dish I had ordered when she stopped me by saying, I know, and went on to repeat the change I had mentioned the night before. At this point, I went quiet and let her interruption kill the conversation. She then prompted me several times to continue. While I remembered what I was going to say, it was so minor that it didn't feel worth it to restate the idea. So I told her I lost my train of thought and that I might think about it again later. Am I the asshole?
No.
Yeah.
I feel like in that situation, she's the asshole. Wait your turn, bitch. I can understand it happening every once in a while. Because, you've heard it multiple times, or you, just forget, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever. You just need to say whatever you need to say. But, no. Don't interrupt people as best you can. Try really hard not to.
Yeah, I can see it happening in a conversation if lots of people are talking, or sometimes you get excited and you just have to say something.
Yeah.
But to always be yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, I wonder how often she gets it wrong too, because that would annoy me more than anything. Oh, I know you like pineapples. No, I was gonna say I like dogs. You know, that would annoy me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gross.
Gross.
That's a weird. I'm an armchair psychologist, but why does he think that that's wrong? Where I assume it's a man. OP. It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
41 male.
Yeah.
Why does he think that makes him the asshole? Who's traumatized him?
I don't know. I know. Probably because he lied about losing his train of thought.
I guess, yeah. But I mean,
that's such a minor white lie. I feel like that doesn't even really matter.
Yeah, and maybe she should not interrupt him, you know?
Yeah.
You shouldn't lie to your partner. But I feel like in this case, who cares?
Yeah.
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 I agree.
Cool.
Well, that's that.
We're so good. We agree.
Yeah. I feel like with Reddit stories, a lot of time it's pretty cut and dry. It's like, I ran over a child, and then when his mum came to cry, I beat her up.
Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole? It's like,
Yeah.
yes.
I'd say.
You're an asshole and a criminal. Yeah. Or it's like, I tiptoed through my house and I woke my dog up and he bit me. Am I the asshole? No.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't have
No,
woken the
babe.
dog up.
Yeah, but like, if you were tiptoeing, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it from me.
That's it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you ever find any like crazy Reddit stories, you can submit those to us through the case request form,
Yeah.
and we will be more than happy to read them.
Yeah. Or tell us your
Let
own
us know if you
story.
like this. Yeah.
Send us
Yes.
your own "Am I the asshole?" or advice story or something, and we can judge you.
Judge you.
We talk about the Instagram and everything.
You can find us on Instagram at sinistersisters.podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You can email us at sinistersisterspod@gmail.com. You can check out the video episodes on our YouTube channel, and the link will be in the show notes, and also in our Instagram bio.
Yes.
So you can see our faces. Yeah. I'm taking a singing class so then I can sing in the episode. Ma. Anyway.
Shall I am.
Thank you for listening.
Sorry.
We will see you on Tuesday for our next true crime episode.
Thank you for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.